Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Chris Hirschberger-Esch. Today I want to talk about how to use Trello to organize your life goals and actually get things done. If you have just one or two goals, you don't need a system, you just do them. But if you're like me, it's very easy to constantly add on things that's like, oh, it'd be cool to learn that. Oh, it'd be fun to do that. Oh, I should do more of this. You need a system so that when you do have these ideas, you don't just throw them out and say, no, I'm working on other things. You can record them, but then you can have a moment to sit down and strategically plan out what are the things I want to work on now, what are the things that are coming up, and what are the things that I can't do right now, but it's a cool idea. Maybe one day, sometime, I'll have some time to work on this. And then the magic happens when a week later, a month later, 6 months later, you revisit that same list and you say, how am I doing? Of these things that are my current priorities, how many of them can I say I accomplished or I'm like in a holding pattern? And how many of these things are not actually priorities anymore, which is fine. You can move them back. So let me jump into my computer. Enough of my voice. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is Trello. It uses the Kanban method. I love Trello. If you haven't explored it already, you can get a free account. It's very easy to set up. But if you prefer analog, this whole thing can be done with a stack of sticky notes and some blank wall space. Whatever works for you, the method is the same. So this is my personal growth board, I call it. And I have these 4 main categories, a few other ones. And it works in progression from left to right. So one day I want to. This is where I drop ideas the second they come to my mind that I don't want to forget, but I may not necessarily be ready to move on them. So like learn basic French. Oh, that'd be fun. But do I actually want to spend 3 to 5 hours a week working through an app? No, I don't. But this is a really important list because it means that I can capture everything that catches my interest, but I can process this and decide whether these are things I actually can realistically work on. And then on deck, this is the stuff that I'm like, all right, I want to do this soon, but I don't quite have the capacity. I have a long priorities list. So this is the stuff the second I have a little bit of time or one of these other things gets completed, I can move over, but I'm not like deeply actively working on this stuff. And then my priorities list is exactly what it sounds like. These are the things that I'm working on that I really want to put kind of ongoing time and attention into. And then this card up here, this is not a goal itself. These are my overarching goals, which I set that just kind of guide why I'm doing all these other ones. So I have it here as a reminder that I just look at periodically. Do these other specific goals, do they line up with the goals I have for my life, the vision of who I want to be and where I want to be in this world? And then this is my long list. And you can set, you can put due dates, these colors, these all correspond to labels, just so I have an idea, like really quickly looking at this, do I have a good mix of physical, professional? I can do a couple different things at a time in each category, but if I have 7 physical goals that are happening all at the same time, realistically, it's just not possible. And then holding pattern, this is like a complete, I hired a VA, check. Great. But then most of these are things that are now habits or things that are pretty regularly in my routine. I don't call them a goal. Stuff like meditation, intermittent fasting, yoga, financial planning that I want to continue to do and have them on this list so that I can periodically, make sure that I didn't just forget about one of these. And if that's the case, then it would probably have to move over to one of these columns so I can implement it back in my life. I am so thrilled with this method and I'm so excited to share this with you because for me it has made such a big difference in my life to capture everything that inspires me, but then take a moment to actually decide what can I feasibly do and then hold myself accountable by setting a reminder on my calendar at least monthly to come back and check this and see how am I doing, does this still align with my priorities? Can I check anything off? Sometimes it feels overwhelming. There's a lot of things on this list. A lot of them require many dozens of hours, but it's all about the incremental steps. And so if I can see these things and spend an hour or even 15 minutes on some of these this week to keep moving them along in a year's time, in 3 years' time, in 10 years' time, in 20 years' time, it's remarkable how much we can accomplish.